Page 59, Symphony No. 1. This is the theme from the fourth movement of Beethoven's symphony. First symphony. Yeah. 2/4 time. Let's take this one hand at a time. 16th notes at the beginning. The first three is just a pickup. It's go up to here. Just think of the pickup. Da 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 da. That's a C major scale. Watch this fingering. I like it. Now watch this counting carefully. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. There's C sharp there. I prefer to use different fingers on repeated notes here at the top of page 60. Doesn't matter what fingers you use, just as long as it's not the same one. Third line down, look out. Follow their fingering. Here I'm just doing 2 1 2 1. Bottom thumb on that last measure. Now at the top of page 61, that first measure. I prefer to use 2 different fingers on that G because you got to move anyway. You could finger it like a C major scale if you use the same finger on it. But I still prefer to use 2 different fingers on the repeated notes. I think it's easier. So which finger you use, don't know. You can use 4th finger and then come over here. Use 3rd finger and then come up. You gotta cross over the thumb unless you use 5th finger. 5th finger's tricky to aim that. If you can do that, that's fine. Then you don't have to cross over the thumb, but otherwise use one of the other fingers and just cross over the thumb. I'll leave it up to you as to which finger you use. You get the same thing in the next line right under it. See it? And that's about the tricky part for the right hand. For the left hand, keep the left hand soft. It's accompaniment. Not a lot going on there. On page 59, last line, you're up here. And then the last 2 measures. That's a G, an A, and a C sharp. For the most part, in the left hand, that's it. Just the block chords. So put the hands together very slowly and very carefully. The idea. Just keep it really slow. If you're hesitating somewhere, then work out the hesitation right then. Don't say I'll fix it later. Get rid of the hesitation, go over that spot, whatever it takes, before you go on. And you go through the whole thing like that with both hands. I don't know that I have to play it all for you because it's really, there's nothing that tricky in this. 16th notes are the worst part, and you can get those, I hope. The other thing would be to play the rest when they come up. Make sure you're not holding those notes down too long. I tend to do that. That's you'll catch me doing that in the videos sometimes. I hold a note down too long, and I ain't saying nothing because I get away with it. Some articulation, mostly slurs. So you lift up between the slurs. Now here in the second measure here, this is page 59, second line. That's the first measure, actually. They're lifting up. My tendency is to separate the 2 quarter notes because you started the piece with that upbeat, those 3 notes. So I tend to want to do that every time I get this. I tend to want to do that. So I finish it here like that, except without the pause. Lift up. Just real, it has to be done in time is the problem. Now here, lift up. Lift up. So I'm pausing between each slur. Don't pause between them. I'm doing it so you can more clearly hear it, but it's got the beat goes on. Now when you get to the top of page 60, you can't really slur repeated notes very well, so you just do the best you can. And then at the bottom of page 60, those accents in the last measure. Here, just a little extra oomph. Play these rests in the left hand over here. And the chords. Add the dynamics. Starts out sort of soft and then goes up to sort of loud. It's not loud yet, it's just sort of loud. Then come down, then go up again. Now you're loud. Now you've ended. And you're loud in this part, and that's the right hand. Keep the left hand under it. Page 60, second line. Now you come down a little bit there on the mezzo forte. And the next line, go down some more. And then over top of page 61, you're getting louder. Start that kind of soft. Then the second time, you go up to loud. And you end it loud. All these things at the end on page 61, the last couple lines, that's all loud. And it's just a bunch of chords, boom, boom, boom. At the end, the last two measures is fortissimo. That's very loud. With an accent. I don't think you need an accent, but play it very loud. That's the idea. In my opinion, we probably ought to add a little pedal to connect this together and add some overtones. It is a symphony, or it's supposed to be, so it's going to have a lot of other instruments going on and things going on, and we need the pedal. On the pedaling here, I think that pretty much the only pedaling I would do for the most part is on these repeated notes, like at the bottom of page 59 here, the last couple measures. I'd pedal those, but change it with the harmony in the left hand. And don't pedal that measure at all, you don't need it. On the top of page 60 again, pedal those. And then the second measure don't pedal, and the third measure you can pedal that. You can go ahead and legato pedal this. From the third measure of the first line, pedal legato. The second line there, pedal each beat. Don't pedal this part. We don't want to smear the eighth notes. Now, third line down, third measure, you can pedal that to connect those if you want. Go ahead and pedal, legato pedal this. Change. But at the top of page 61, don't pedal the 16th notes. But go ahead and pedal that here and here. Here I'm pedaling on page 61, starting with the second line, third measure. I'm pedaling with the left hand. And at the end, the pedal goes down with the hands, not after, and it comes up with the hands. So they're exactly together. At the end. So I'm using a little bit of pedal to help out the overtones on some of the full chords and the repeated notes to connect some of them. but not on any of the runs or stuff, because it still needs to be kind of a light and playful thing. Speed-wise, allegro molto e vivace, that means really fast and faster. What? It moves. You can find recordings of this, so listen to it. It moves. Right. Your speed may be held back on how fast can you play these runs, evenly and controlled. Here, if you've been doing the C major scale with the accents and all that, you'll find that you can actually get up pretty. Try and put a little accent on that C. Go up to here, go up to here. You get the idea? How fast you go, it's got to be your allegro molto in vivace thingamajigger, not somebody else's. So it's based on your speed limit, but it goes pretty fast.